Sonic Forces is a good game. It's gotten mixed reviews, but I've just played it from beginning to end, and I can safely say that, in my personal opinion, it's a good game. But is it right for you? Well, come along on today's review as we talk about Sonic Forces. Welcome to Stuff We Play, home of everything weird and retro, and I'm guessing Sonic at this point. And if that sounds cool to you, why not subscribe? So today we're talking about Sonic Forces for the Nintendo Switch. And why the Nintendo Switch? Because why not? Speaking of my Switch, I own a capture card, but that's down in the US right now. I live in Canada. So while I'm waiting for my capture card to be shipped up to me, thank you Canada Post, I'm going to be stuck using trailer footage for this video. But I hope you don't mind, because I really want to talk about this game. Since the first trailers came out, people have been skeptical of Sonic Forces. There are two games people are eager to compare it to. There's Sonic Mania, which came out a few months beforehand, and Super Mario Odyssey, which came out, a few weeks beforehand. And that's pretty understandable. Sonic Mania was a return to the classic Sonic formula, and was not made by Sonic Team. And Mario Odyssey is a fantastic 3D platformer. Sonic Forces people have been skeptical of for multiple reasons. Is the game good? Well, we have three things to go over in today's video. And that's the presentation, the gameplay, and the overall value for money. So let's get... I dropped it. So let's get straight into it. Man, aren't you glad I was holding the game and not my Switch? The gameplay for Sonic Forces is what a lot of people were interested in. I mean, it's a Sonic game. That's what everyone's going to be interested in. And it has three play styles. You have modern Sonic, who's mostly based off of how he played in Sonic Generations and Daytime Unleashed and Colors. And I'm all for that, especially seeing as I didn't really like Sonic Lost World. Second off, there's classic Sonic, who plays kind of like how he did in Generations, except here he's mixed with how he played in Sonic Mania. He no longer has a dedicated spin dash button like he did there. However, if you hold down the spin dash button while you're in the air, you can do a drop dash or a drop curl or whatever it's called, much like you can in Sonic Mania, which I think makes sense because, spoiler alert, this is the same version of classic Sonic from Sonic Mania. And finally, you have the Avatar, the DeviantArt character. But let's be honest, it's a make your own character in a Sonic game. I think it's cool. I think I'd like to see more customization options, but what's here is really cool. I tried to make mine look like Bubsy because I'm an idiot like that, but it's really cool. And something I should also mention, by the way, is that if you pre-ordered the game, you got some free DLC in the form of costumes based off of other Sega franchises. Now, what's interesting is that occasionally your Avatar character and modern Sonic will team up and burst through stages, and I find those to actually be really fun because you can burst like you can as Sonic, but you can use the Wisp abilities and the Wisp and weapons that are used by the Avatar, and I really like that. So, modern Sonic and the burst stages and the Avatar stages are pretty good. My only gripes are Sonic, much like in Sonic Colors, has a very stiff jump, and this game has a bit more platforming than in, say, Sonic Generations. It's never a pain, but it's a little off-putting at first. Second off, your Avatar character and Sonic, they can use the homing attack, but I feel like the homing attack reticle isn't completely accurate. It kind of reminds me of a ROM hack I reviewed, Sonic Winter Adventures, where you have to wait for the reticle to appear. Sometimes it's just too late and you're dead by the time it appears. It's not a game-breaking problem, but it's definitely a problem I had about 5 or 6 times across the 30 some odd stages in Sonic Forces, and I feel like it's something that should really be addressed in an update patch. The level designs themselves, however, I think are quite fun. My main gripe with the levels actually is I think they're too short. This game is such a blast to play, and I kind of wish the average level length was a bit longer than 2 to 4 minutes long. Like, that's perfect for a classic Sonic game, but for a game like this with all its visual flair and whatnot, I just kind of want a little bit more. And I guess that's another thing to talk about. Visual flair. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes there's a section between different areas of a level or a stage or a zone, whatever it's called here, and there's like this big, beautiful cinematic animation that's cool, but it happens a bit too much for my liking. It's meant to make the game feel faster and more flowing, but all it does is breaks the flow for me, and that's a problem. My other main problem is balancing between the player types. There's a large amount of modern Sonic and Avatar stages, and even I think 5 or 6 burst stages, which is cool, but I think there's only like 4 classic Sonic stages, which is a shame because I really did enjoy those. But in the grand scheme of things, part of me wonders if classic Sonic was just kind of shoehorned in to link the game with Mania. Because, I don't know, he doesn't really have much bearing here. He's fun to play as, and I'm glad he's here, but if he weren't in the game, I don't think the overall experience would be affected much. What I should also mention is Shadow the Hedgehog is playable via DLC. Now before you click away at the mention of DLC, it's free. It's free DLC. It's a prologue to the game, it's 3 levels, Shadow plays exactly like Sonic, and it's a lot of fun. I think the levels are good challenges. In fact, I feel like all the levels here are good challenges, but only one that I remember hating is just one I'm going to call Stage 28. It's one of the few classic Sonic stages, and some numbskull at Sega thought it was a good idea to put an auto-scrolling level in a Sonic game. So how does the game look and present itself? So, come on, let's get into the presentation. Both in docked mode and portably, it runs very smoothly. I only noticed some frame rate drops at a few spots, mainly in some of the secret stages where there's a lot going on. But like 95% of the time, even in handheld mode on the Nintendo Switch, I felt like it ran very smoothly. Now, as beautiful as the game looks, I do have a bit of a problem with the level variety. All the zones are based off of previous Sonic games. Granted, they feel very original, like Green Hill Zone is partially turned into a desert here, and Chemical Plant Zone is a factory. But I guess that's my problem. There's too many mechanical factory-esque stages, and I know the plot of the game is, Eggman's taking over the world. It's like the Sonic cartoon from the 90s. There's that stage, and then there's Death Egg Zone, and there's a final zone. I feel like literally half the zones here are mechanical factory-like stages, and that's a shame because there's some zones like Metropolis Zone which are so vibrant and beautiful that I wish the game really let itself shine more. My biggest problem is as great as it looks, I feel like it's holding back at times. Also I've mentioned here is the music. A lot of people really like the soundtrack here, and I get it. It sounds less like a Sonic soundtrack and most of the time sounds like something out of Dance Dance Revolution. If that's your thing, great. I didn't particularly care for it. However, the music in the classic Sonic stages was fantastic because it's these Genesis-style tunes. This sounds legit Genesis, and it's fantastic. With my favorite track probably being the one from Ghost Town. It's really good. Seriously, I'm playing it in the background right now. It's a good piece. The only final thing I need to mention in terms of presentation is the story, and it's supposed to be this dark, gritty war story, except you realize it's Sonic the Hedgehog. And I wonder, when they were making this game, were they actually taking this story seriously? Or did they know it feels kind of ham-fisted and corny at times? And no, did they know that it feels like something straight out of a self-insert Sonic fanfiction? With that in mind, is Sonic Forces a good value for money? Well, let's get into that. Sonic Forces is not a full retail release. What do I mean by full retail release? Well, yes, you can walk into any GameStop or EB Games or whatever your country's equivalent big game store is and buy this game. However, what you may notice is that this is not a full-priced retail release. In the US, your average game release is $60, Sonic Forces is $40. In Canada, where I live, it's $80 usually. This was $50, which is 20 to 30 bucks less than what you're normally paying for a new Switch game. I got the day one bonus edition, and so I'm going to open it up and show you what's in there besides the cart, which is in my Switch. By buying it physically especially, you actually get a few cool things. First things first, if you buy a day one, you get these skins based off of other Sega franchises such as Knights and Persona 5. The Persona one was my favorite. You actually get a little card with the instructions for the game on it, so not quite a full manual, but something I can be happy with. And then you actually get skins for your Joy-Con, so you can make it look all cool and Sonic-y. And granted, I'm not going to use mine. I like to keep my Joy-Cons nice spick and span and looking factory clean, but I feel like it's really a really nice package you get here. The overall game length, to be honest, if you're just going for the story, is only going to take you about 4 to 5 hours. Furthermore, if you go back and do the daily missions or try to S rank every level, I feel like that could maybe boost up to 7 to 8 hours potentially. I'm not sure. I'm still going back and playing this game because Not because I wanted to go 100% it for this review, but because I legitimately want to play more. It's a lot of fun. Yes, it has its problems. On the whole, it's very playable, it's very fun. Not a 10 out of 10 game, but definitely a game that I could say that if you own a Nintendo Switch, and if you've already played Super Mario Odyssey or Sonic Mania, or if you're a Sonic fan who's been on the fence about Sonic Forces, it's a good game. It's worth the price tag. If it was a full-priced retail release, I would not recommend it. But at this price, or especially if you can find it used, it's absolutely worth your time. So there we go, that's my review of Sonic Forces. It's not infinitely enjoyable, but it's not something that you'll have to force yourself to complete. Leave your thoughts on Sonic Forces and the state of Sonic the Hedgehog down in the comment section below. Let me know, what do you think is Game of the Year? Super Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Sonic Mania, hell, maybe even this. I know some people who really like it. Then again, I know some people who absolutely hate this game, which I don't get, but hey, to each their own. But while you're at it, why don't you subscribe to Stuff We Play for more great content like this. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Stay classy, and I will see you next time.